Dungeon Master 372 here, coming at you with another DungeTeck gaming server SMP Let's Play series, season 1, episode 3. Yes, that's right. We're coming back to you with another video, and yeah, we've got a lot of stuff to cover today. As and if you guys were with me for the last video, you saw us as we continue to go through the process of getting set up and expanding a little bit on our initial setup and everything else. We see we got our farms going right now. We have a tree farm set up here, so we got plenty of wood and logs and such. So we are definitely self-sustaining, at least for the time being. Got a variety of things out here. I want to show you what else we all came across. Also, in the last video, we got ourselves going with Tinker's Construct, and we started out with the crafting tables in the first episode, and I showed you how to do that. And I also went over and covered the Tinker Station and the Part Builder. Now, the Tinker Station is new to me, because in previous builds of Tinker's Construct, the Tinker's table or the Tinker Station here was just a Tinker's table to start with, and then you upgraded to the Tool Forge, which you would end up taking the bench up, putting it in your crafting grid with 4 blocks of metal of whatever metals. So you could even use iron. Iron was the best way to be able to upgrade. But anyways, you had 4 blocks of iron and 3 blocks of seared stone or stone brick across the top of the table, and that got you your tool forge. And that was an easy way of upgrading. And then not only that, but they integrated the stencil table here into the part builder. Sorry for the lag, but we have this initial inventory lag that happens, and right now I don't know of a proper fix for it. Not even really for sure where it's being generated from, so we will be working that out eventually. But yeah, so these stencils that are in here, used to you had to craft them in a stencil table, and then you brought them over to the park bench, and then you were able to craft your materials and your parts that way. And then we also built ourselves a Tinker's Anvil, which is part of the third tier to this, because these tables here are like the second tier, and then this is like the third tier of the mod, because you got your upgraded tools here. You got your hammers, your Bane hammer here is pretty cool. Your broad axe, which has the tree feller perk to it. I mean, you got all kinds of other stuff here to use. This is a cleaver. We're gonna be building that today as well, and I plan on building one of these today, as you can see in my inventory here. And yeah, there's just all kinds of different things. Now, another thing I want to kind of iterate here is when you make and craft your different parts, the materials that you craft them with are important. And I'll explain this to you a little bit here. For instance, our stone pickaxe here. As you can see, we have several different things going on here. We have the Stonebound 3 perk. We have the Armor Piercing 1 perk. Each part that you make, and depending on the material you use to make it with, um, each material type has its own little perk with it. So, for instance, we have Stonebound 3. That's because all three of our parts are made from stonebound, or from stone. So that comes from the cobblestone that was used to make the picks. And this was done without the smeltery. Now, when you use the smeltery to craft the parts using the casts that I have in my inventory, there are several different things that you got to take into account. A default tool has, I think, 3 slots to start out with that you can use for material upgrades. So, for instance, if you wanted to add sharpen to your tool, or you want to add sharpness to your tool, you can add nether quartz. And I'm not sure, but I think vanilla quartz works as well, but I'm not totally 100% sure. But I believe that is the case. So, uh, keeping that in mind, there are a few other perks if you use different metals. Also, another thing that the smeltery adds, and I think I showed this whenever I was building the Tinker's Anvil last video, but I don't know if I really covered it in depth and talked about it a little bit. But when you put metals in here, you get enough collected of each material, and you can create different alloys. So, for instance, okay, put this over here, and we're going to, okay, yeah, and then let's go back over here. Go back over here, and I think it's this chest here. We're gonna grab ourselves. We don't need a full stack. Let's grab a half stack. I want to demonstrate this real quick. So as you can see, we have amethyst in here right now. And we'll mix that with a few other things momentarily. But we're going to go ahead and mix those ingots of gold. And we'll go ahead and do half of the copper here. As you see, we got molten gold. And eventually we'll have molten copper. As you see, molten copper has changed. And now we have amethyst bronze and molten rose gold. So we've had enough so anyways, each one of these has different perks that goes along with it. And I'm going to craft a few items using these alloys. So let's see. Let's go ahead and let me pause the video so I can get our first materials together for our first tool that we're going to make, which will be the hammer, the sledgehammer. So I'll be right back. Okay, everybody, and we're back. All right, so pretty much I put in some supplies here, added a few alloys, a few materials in here. So right now we have some slime steel, we have some sky slime, we have some molten rose gold, we have molten amethyst bronze, which we're going to need. I think that's what we're going to use first. Okay, so what we're going to do first is we're going to do this first one in amethyst, molten amethyst bronze. We're going to make the hammerhead out of that. Alright, next we're going to do a large plate, and this one we're going to do one in iron, I think. Alright, so we're going to do one of these in slime steel. And the other one, if I'm not mistaken, is iron. So that's copper. Where is our iron? Okay, so we need to throw in a little bit more iron. Let's get some more iron in there. And then eventually we will be pulling this out in the form of ingots or nuggets. Because I always like keeping my smeltery clean whenever I'm doing my thing, getting some things did. Alright, there we go. So now we're going to be messing with the iron for this one. That will conclude that. And now we got tough handle. And let's see. Alright, so. And then we're going to go back to slime steel. Alright, so we have our first major tool that we're going to be using in the Nether when we go over there. At least to get our first base built out. Alright, so we're going to select this. And now we're going to put all of our tool parts in. Okay, so we're going to do one of these, this one here, and this one. As you can see, we've got all kinds of different. We got over slime, We have crumbling. We have overcast 2, magnetic smite, and we can get the stats for each one of these. So we have, damage modifier on it. So if I used it as a weapon, it would do that much damage, and the speed of it is pretty quick, and it's mining tier diamond, so that's going to be good for us. So we can get pretty much anything. We could probably even dig obsidian with it. And the mining speed is pretty quick, 2.6. And upgrades, we have 2 and 1 ability. So, and I'm not sure, but there's a bit of difference. There's some that are just not. And we could add an extra tier by adding a diamond to this. So we're going to go ahead and collect that. And that is our first Tinker's Construct tool for the Nether. The other ones were just primitive, just to get us started. These are going to be more for the long-term use. At least until we get started with, one of our other mods, like Mechanism, for instance. And there used to be a way to set these up to where you can actually charge them up using, just charging them up at like a charging station, which that's pretty cool too, I think. But I don't remember how to do that anymore, and if it's even possible with the configurations that we got set up right now. So that was one of our tools that I wanted to get together for us. We're going to do another tool here in a second. I just got to figure out what parts we're going to need for it. Go ahead and put our task back. And we're probably going to need some of these materials that are already in there, so we're not going to mess with getting those out just yet until we need to. Let's see, yeah, there we go. I guess I could have done it in here. Forgot I had one in here too. I ended up making 2, so. Alright, so let's see. Let's put that back over here for now. Okay, so the next tool we want to have is this. This is a cleaver. It's going to take 2 tool rods, a plate, and a blade. And it's a broad blade. Alright, so what we're going to do here is we're going to run back in here. We'll go in here. Here's our broad blade. Go ahead and make that. We already got our large plate out there, so we'll make that. Don't need to make that. Okay, so we need tough handles, which we have that out there already, and we need 2 of those. Alright, so here's our next tool we're going to make. We're going to need this. We're going to need this. And we're going to need this. There. so there we go. And we're going to make that. We're going to make a casting here. And there we go. Now we have a metal casting of the blade. Alright, so we're going to need some iron. We're gonna make the blade out of iron. We're gonna need 2 of these. Alright, so we're gonna see. Let's see. We need slime steel. We use slime steel for the large plate. Alright. Actually, we're only gonna need 1 large plate. We're gonna need 2 tough handles, so. Alright, so one of these we're gonna need rose gold. And this one we're gonna make out of copper. Okay, so we're gonna get this copper going. Let's go ahead and try to get this. Dang it, it's not letting me keep the copper. Thank you. Now we got enough copper in there. Alright, now we can make our next tool. Let's put all of our cats back in here. And I will put this one back on the table because we're going to need that in a minute to clean up. And now we're going to go right over here to make our tool. Alright, so now we're going to make, I'm going to drop this in, drop this in, And here we go. And this is going to be our cleaver. We can do control. And this one automatically has the beheading perk. So whenever I go and attack a mob with it, they have the possibility of dropping their heads. So we're going to cut off their head. So like I work for the queen. Queen's bee. Of course, we don't have any mobs out here right now. Not any that's in my reach, but I will demonstrate the use of this tool. Alright, we got one more tool that I want to create before we head to the Nether. Because I want a new pick as well. And since we're going to do that, we should... Where is my pick? We don't have a pick yet. Huh. It must have got lost somewhere. Which does happen often enough. See, this is supposed to be like the vein hammer. It's supposed to be like a hammer, a pickaxe, amongst other things. This is a matic. It's kind of similar, but this one's more for leaves and plants. And they have the pick day. This one is like a digger and it's like an excavator pickaxe. Alright, so I'm going to need to make another tool binder. So I can make a tool binding cast. We're just going to make a simple pickaxe, but we're going to use some of these materials. And we're all out of gold on here. Let's see, where is all my gold at? Go ahead and throw those 2 blocks in. We'll come back if we need more. draining my copper out for now because we got plenty of molten. We have got plenty of rose gold built up. So we got 3 more nuggets of copper. And that's it for our copper. Now we can throw our gold in. And we're about there. Alright, that's about like it. And now let's get our gold over here so we can get this made. Yeah, I just don't understand where that where the other tool binding could have gone. Should have been in there. Alright, so we're going to need that. We're also going to need the pickaxe head as well. God dang it. And I don't know where else would I would have put it. Should have stayed in there with the other stuff. So we're going to need to make one of those. Alright, we're going to go back in here. Throw down our pickaxe head right here. And then cast that son of a bitch. There we go. We got it taken care of. Now, let me go take care of a few things. I will be right back momentarily. Alright, so we got this figured out now. Alright, so okay, so what we're going to do first is we're going to go ahead and do the head. And we're going to use molten amethyst bronze for the pickaxe head. Alright, so okay, we got the head already. So we're going to do the tool binding. Whoops, not in there. We're going to use rose gold for the tool binding. Alright, and then we're going to, for the tool handle, we're going to use regular iron for the tool handle here. Alright, so these are going to be the tools that I'm going to carry with me for quite some time. At least until I get enough manualing together. Because there's no reason for me to go above manualing level on my tools because some of these upgrades and some of the material stuff will also take slots for your enhancements and stuff. So, all right, let's go ahead and Let's go back to the pick. And there we go. We have crumbling 1, magnetic, armor piercing, and enhanced 1. And it's a diamond level pick, so that means that we should be able to pick obsidian with it if I'm not mistaken. So, alright. So we've crafted ourselves 3 pretty good decent sized tools, and they are going to be capable of handling what we are about to deal with in the Nether. And we're going to take a different track to get to the Nether than your normal typical build a portal frame. We're going to use waystones. Now, whenever I get it set up, custom starting gear, everybody should have at least 1 waystone that they could put down. And that 1 waystone will be your personal tie-in to the outside world, where we have other portals that are going to be global and are going to be able to be visible whenever you place this waystone down. So you'll have access to spawn point and access to other things. And as you can see with our mallet, whenever I select a block, it selects a 3x3 area, which is what it mines up. And that's going to be a helpful tool in the Nether, especially if we get spawned in high up on the deal, which I don't think so, because we're gonna use a special feature of our server, which will give us. Oh no, we're gonna use waystones. Like I said, I do intend on adding waystones to starting gear inventory, so that way when you all start out, you all will have at least 1 to set down for yourself for personal use. And if you want to make them in game, you can use them, but if you set 1 down, you make sure that you don't set global if you don't want anybody to see it and travel to it. But so usually there's a button you can click down here that sets it to global, but I guess you have to be in creative mode in order for that to show up. This shouldn't show up for everybody. This should be just your own personal waystone, so it should be off by default. Now I can see the other global stuff. Those anything that's global will show up as yellow, so those you will be able to see. The ones in white you won't be able to see. So the one I just put down is grayed out. So because this is the one I'm using, so it's not going to let me teleport back here like that. Now if I go to grinder maintenance, which is in my other base, and then click on that one, it'll show up over there. So, and it'll be lit up like this one is. Cool stuff. But now we're set up so we can travel to spawn when we're ready to go to the Nether. Okay, so let's see where we're going from here. Well, I've already overshot my clip time, so let me take a clip here and get us ready to start for our trek to the Nether and get some more supplies together. I'll be right back. Alright everyone, and I'm back. So I left here because I wanted to, let me move this out of the way here, back in the right spot. Okay, so I wanted to, yeah, so we already covered all of our tools and stuff, so that's a good thing. I also wanted to show you something else, which is cool. So when you come in here, let's just say, for instance, we wanted to add a new slot to our pickaxe. As you can see, we right now have 4 upgrades and 1 ability. I put that in. It'll give us mining speed of 9. And then it'll increase the melee damage and melee speed. That takes up an upgrade slot. And from the looks of it, it also takes an ability spot as well. But it does also, doesn't change at all. So there's also other things that you can do in here. Like you can add lapis lazuli over here. You can put nether quartz over here, which is why we're going to the nether. One of the reasons anyway. And you can add all kinds of different stuff to your tool to give you added benefits. And I just wanted to kind of touch base on that a little bit. And originally I was going to use our waystone that we put down right here to travel to this nether base. But that area is messed up for some reason. So we're not going to use that area. And not only that, but something went amiss down there. So we're just going to move to our city spawn here. City hall spawn. And actually, we should have went to the travel hub. There we go. Alright, I'm gonna go pick up something real quick. I'll be right back. Well, perfect timing to test out my cleaver. Test out that beheading feature. Alright, let's get some skeletons here. Well, we did get one skeleton head. And 2 zombie heads. Oh, nice. Now, see, we can really get into it. There's one upgrade that you can add that requires heads. I think it's to add more upgrades. It expands your upgrade slots to, more. Alright, so we're not going to the Aether right now. I'm going to go to Nether, but I wanted to show you guys. And we're still working on the jam mining dimension. That will become open here real soon. I think I'll probably end up taking some time between this episode and the next, and probably get some of that working up there. Because we're going to be doing that real soon. We're going to be putting up a mining operation there. And this is our twilight room here. And yeah, I like my cicadas. I'll get it out of there because I'm pretty sure it's driving you guys nuts. Alright. Off to the Nether we go. And I can't remember if I built a base in here yet or not. If I did, it's probably just primitive. Holy hell. Nope, apparently I didn't build a freaking landing area. This is not good. We're definitely going back through. Yeah, that didn't fix nothing. Oh, okay. It took it a minute to freaking. It kept trying to suck me back in there. I don't play like that, Damon. Huh. It did not want to let me go. And that was actually quite strange for it to do that. Well, I have to look into that. Alright, we're going to have to do a few more things. To get more prepped up. Instead of running around, let's go ahead and go back to our home. You know, what I'll probably end up doing is waiting until a future episode. That way I don't have to spend a whole lot of time building for this the rest of this episode, because we're already 10 minutes in, and probably about 20 minutes past my hopeful cut time, so we're going to skip that. Besides, what we need, I already have at the base. Because I do have another area that has the supplies that we're going for. I just wanted to be a little bit more in line with natural progression. So, and this is the point where I would actually travel to the Nether to collect the material that we need. So, let's see. I think it's right here. Yeah. This is nether quartz. This should add sharpness to our weapon. So we're going to try this here. There we go. And we can't add any more quartz to that. And not only that, but we are currently out of the quartz that I just got. Alright. Let's go back. Back here. Go to our... We'll do some shopping here. Pew! Alright. Yeah, it's over here. Alright, let's go. Go back. Please. Alright. Now let's go back over here. Now we got plenty more where that came from. Oh, dang it. And I kept doing it, so it kept adding. It shouldn't have counted towards the abilities, but we got ways to add more abilities. Like that adds an ability. That's an upgrade. now we should be able to do some other stuff. Alright, so since we're escaping the Nether for now, because I really want to be more prepared, let's see what else do I need to touch base on. Alright, so I've kind of covered a little bit about enhancing our weapons and getting those built up for our trek to the Nether, which didn't happen, of course, but we are prepared on the weapons front. And I've got the armor here that I started with, so yeah, that is pretty much Tinker's Construct. Mid-tier and beginning enhancements with the tools therein. So we are pretty much at tier 2 and starting tier 3 type weapons and such. So there's that. Ooh, well, let's go ahead and do some. Wow, a full block of TNT from that one. We're also going to add some lapis lazuli to some of these to give it more of a looting capability. I think that's what it does. A lot of these enhancements and stuff for Tinker's Construct, you can find them in the book to Tinker's Construct. I think I have one back at my pad here. Let's do. Alright, let's go check and see where this is at. Okay. I think it's over here. If I have it. The Aether stuff there. Advanced peripherals. Nothing in that one. Nothing in that one. Alright guys, I'll be right back. Okay everybody, and we are back. So far this video we have covered our next tools and explored a little bit more in getting all the different, getting some of the different alloys, and just kind of touch base on the different alloys and their respective assets that they give each one of your tools. And that was the main thing I wanted to get through, and unfortunately we weren't able to make it to the Nether because I've got to do some cleanup in our location where we spawn in from the RTS building. So I got to get a structure up there so that way that area is protected. I think what happened was when we was with Kinetic hosting before and lost those files, I think I may have built that in that and ended up losing the files. So I got to go back in and I got to repair that landing there for us. So that's pretty much everything that I needed to cover in this video, I think. I mean, aside from going to the Nether and taking our initial plunge into the Nether. Another thing that I wanted to cover, because I did have some of these things here. I believe I was going to demonstrate the use of Nether quartz, but I will cover that. I'll just cover that at a later time in one of the next few videos. But quintessentially, those Nether quartz and regular quartz, if I'm not mistaken, both add sharpness to your tools, which that adds durability and it adds to your attack value and your mining speed. So there is that. I don't think I covered any of the other different. Oh yeah, we added a wither skull, or no, a skeleton skull to one of these. I can't remember which. I think it was the Mallet, and it gave us an extra upgrade slot. So yeah, so if you like what you've seen here in this video, please click like and subscribe. Check out the various links in the description below, and don't forget to click that notification bell so that way you'll be notified when we post a new video on our channel. So yeah, also make sure to check out our Discord and join our Discord so that way you can also personally chat with us directly. Well, at least with me, I'm open for communications and everything. So yeah, just please check that out. And all right, remember everyone, to have fun, be safe, and as always, have a good one.